please hit that subscribe button. Hey everybody, better suited to win the Stanley Cup this season. If you are new to the channel, Washington Capitals, the Boston Bruins.
Locked on and he scored! And we're live. Hey everybody, so it's time for another episode of Enforcer Hall of Fame, where I induct the greatest NHL enforcers in the league's history into their own Hall of Fame. And today we are going to be doing someone who not only was a great fighter, was a pretty damn good player as well, and that is left wing Al Secord. Before we get into it fully, I just ask that you please hit that subscribe button and give this video a like if you haven't already, as both of those things greatly help the channel and are very much appreciated. But let's get into it here. Al Secord, who started playing in the late 70s and played all the way until the 1989-90 season, had a spectacular NHL career for a tough guy, playing 766 career games, scoring 273 goals, 223 assists for 496 career points, as well as 2,095 career penalty minutes. So Secord could score and Secord could fight. And he had 171 fights over the course of his career between the regular season and playoffs. The most ever in one single season came in 1981-82 with the Chicago Blackhawks, where he had 26 fights. His best offensive season, and get this is unreal for somebody who is largely remembered as a tough guy, came in 1982-83 with Chicago, where Secord had 54 goals, 32 assists for 86 points with Chicago. A 54-goal season for a guy who also had 180 penalty minutes on the year. It's funny, is the year before that with Chicago in 1981-82, he had 44 goals, 31 assists, and 75 points to go along with 303 penalty minutes. And he had another 40-goal season with Chicago later in 85-86, where he had 40 goals, 36 assists for 76 points to go along with 201 penalty minutes that year. So Al Secord, really one of the greatest, I don't even know how to describe it, greatest like double threats of all time, as not only was he one of the biggest fighters and most feared enforcers in the game, but he was a fantastic scorer as well, as you can see, with over 270 career goals and almost 500 career points. Like, as far as tough guys go, he was racking up the penalty minutes while racking up points as well. And that's a rare combination to see throughout the throughout the history of the NHL. Nobody, well, I can't say nobody did it better than Al Secord, but he's in a rare list of guys who are able to score at this level and also fight and enforce at this level as well. So one time in his career, he went over the 300 penalty minute mark. 3 times in his career, he went over the 200 penalty minute mark. In 11 seasons in the NHL, Al Secord went over the 100 penalty minute mark, which is almost every year that he was in the league. So this guy was consistently putting up penalty minutes, and obviously he had some huge offensive years in there as well, where he chipped in a ton offensively. So he broke into the league with who else but the Big Bad Bruins in 1978 and played with Boston from 1978 to 1981. During the 1980-81 season, he was traded to the Chicago Blackhawks. He's played with Chicago from 1981 through 1987, and that was where he had his best years in the NHL, offensively, fight-wise. That's where he's best known for. When you think of Al Secord, most people think of the Chicago Blackhawks, and he was one of their top tough guys for many, many years in Chicago, and that's where he's best known for being. During the 1987-88 season, he went to Toronto for a short stint, and then in 1988-89, he once again split that between Toronto and Philadelphia. So he started to move around quite a bit towards the end of his career, and then his final NHL season came once again back in Chicago in 1989-90, and he was out of the league after that and has obviously retired. But he's most known as a Chicago Blackhawk. He had some good years early in his career as well in Boston, and was definitely a well-liked, tough guy early in his career in Boston. But then he really found his NHL home in Chicago, and that's where he had his best years in the league. And then obviously he bounced around between Toronto and Philly at the end, and then went back to Chicago for one final season. But Al Secord, one tough dude who could really pack a punch, and also could bring it offensively as well with the 496 career points. You won't see many guys on this list with over 200 career goals and over 400 career points. I can tell you that, especially, the last few episodes we've been talking about more modern enforcers who, were happy to get 5 points a season. Al Secord was a 50 goal scorer at the NHL level and a multiple time 40 goal scorer at the NHL level. So he was just a great player all around, and really the embodiment of old time hockey. I don't think there may not be a greater example out there. Maybe Wendell Clark comes to mind, but Al Secord is definitely near the top of the list when you think of old time hockey. Somebody who could play, somebody who was a valuable player in more ways than just fighting, but and bring it offensively as well, but also could absolutely pack a punch, bring the physicality, and rack up the penalty minutes as well. And that's what Al Secord did throughout his career. So 100% very, very deserving of being in this Hall of Fame. He is now in. Probably took longer than it should have to get him in here. But Al Secord had a spectacular NHL career. Again, almost 500 career points, over 2,000 career penalty minutes. It doesn't get any more old-time hockey than that. So there it is, guys. Like, comment, share, subscribe, follow on social media. All those links are down in the description. If you'd like to further support the channel, the links to our Patreon and merchandise store are down in the description as well. Keep spreading the word about this channel. Let's keep this thing growing. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll talk to you guys soon.